So for the next couple of slides, I'm going to provide a pharmacy overview. First slide, I'm going to provide the key responsibilities of the pharmacy team. Just as background, this is a 24/7 study where the study drug will need to be administered as soon as possible after randomization. So the study drug could need to be administered outside of regular business hours, at nights, and on weekends. And therefore, each site must develop standard operating procedures for administering the study drug 24/7. As a background, the study drug is administered at randomization, again, at 24 hours, and that's 18 to 24 hours to allow for some time interval, at 14 days, and there's an optional fourth dose at 28 days. Each site must keep an internal record of the study drug assignment for each participant. At many sites, this is done via a preparation log, which can be electronic or paper, but each site must maintain a log of the study drug assignment for each participant. This slide talks about blinding in the pharmacy team and the study team. The site pharmacy team will not be blinded to study group assignment. However, the site study team will be blinded to study group assignment, and the site pharmacy team must not share the randomization details with any other study staff members. Next slide or two, I'm going to talk about study drug shipments. The central drug repository for this study will be at Brigham and Women's Hospital, and they will ship commercial open-label abatacept to the site pharmacy. So just to repeat, this is going to be commercial open-label abatacept that's shipped to each site pharmacy team from Brigham and Women's Hospital. The initial shipment of study drug will contain 64 vials of abatacept. That will be enough to treat 4 participants who are randomly allocated to abatacept rather than to placebo. A common question is how will we keep track of the study drug usage and about study drug replenishment? Well, ESOCDAT, which is our electronic data capture system used for the Atrium trial, will track pharmacy use of the study drug. An additional supply of study drug will be shipped based on the site documentation of study drug use. Next couple of slides are about study group assignment. So how will everybody know which group the subject is or participant is assigned to? So step number 1, when a participant is ready to be randomized, the site study team will place an order for study drug. The order will be placed in the standard electronic medical record system for your institution. Prior to randomization, the site study team will acquire the email address for the site pharmacist who will prepare the study drug. When the site study team randomizes a participant, the site study team will enter the email address of the site pharmacist responsible for preparing the study drug into our clinical trials management system, ESOCDAT. ESOCDAT will then send an email, which I'll show on the next slide, with the study group assignment and the dose of study drug to be prepared. So on this slide is a sample email which will be generated automatically from our EDC, our electronic data capture system called ESOCDAT. And this email will be sent to the site pharmacist who will be preparing the study drug, and a copy of this email will be sent to the site pharmacy team who are on the delegation log. And essentially what this email contains is verification that a subject has been randomized, a participant has been randomized. It will also tell that site pharmacy team what study group they've been assigned to and what the dose of study drug is. The site pharmacist will open the email and prepare either abatacept or placebo as directed, and as such the site pharmacist does not need to log into ESOCDAT to ascertain the study group assignment. As I mentioned earlier, as backup, that same email which details study group assignment will be copied to all the pharmacy team on the delegation log at that site. And also, that site pharmacy team will have access to ESOCDAT where they can go in and verify independently the study group assignment. Next couple of slides I'm going to talk about study drug preparation and dosing. I'm going to mostly focus on dosing. So in this slide is the abatacept dosing for the Atrium trial. If the patient is randomly assigned to abatacept, they will be given 10 milligrams per kilogram of abatacept. Each vial of abatacept contains 250 milligrams. For example, a participant who weighs 45 kilograms will get 450 milligrams, and a participant who weighs 70 kilograms will get 700 milligrams of abatacept. There's no minimum study drug dose. However, the maximum dose of abatacept for those assigned to abatacept will be 1,000 milligrams, even if the participant weighs more than 100 kilograms. So there's no minimum dose, but there is a maximum dose, and the maximum dose is 1,000 milligrams. The final infusion volume will be 100 mils. If the participant is randomly assigned to placebo, they will get 100 mils of normal saline. These next two slides talk about preparing abatacept and about what's required to prepare abatacept. I'm not going to spend too long on these slides, but just in brief, abatacept is shipped as open label powder. That needs to be protected from the light. It needs to be refrigerated. The powder needs to be refrigerated and stored in the original packaging per use. When you're mixing the abatacept infusion, you use the silicone-free disposable syringe which is provided with each vial. You need to inspect the package closely to make sure that the vial is not beyond its expiration date. And after you prepare the abatacept, it needs to be used within 24 hours. The final infusion volume is 100 mils, and it needs to be given over 30 minutes. This slide contains details about the reconstitution of abatacept. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about the reconstitution, and it's here for your review should you need it later. One of the important things about abatacept once it's reconstituted is that it should not be shaken. So these are a couple of common questions we get asked. How long will the infusion take? 30 minutes. Can allergic reactions happen? They can, but they're uncommon with abatacept. How often will they get infusions? And the full details are in the Atrium trial protocol, but they'll get abatacept or placebo at randomization, again at 18 to 24 hours, at 14 days, and again at 28 days. After the site pharmacist prepares abatacept or placebo, they will affix a study label to that bag. As you recall, the site study team are blinded to whether this is abatacept or placebo, and we will provide a sample study drug label here on the screen, and that will contain such elements as the trial name, the participant's name, the ID, the medical record number, the dose for abatacept and placebo, the routes of administration, the expiration date, dispensing date. And just as a reminder, once the abatacept is reconstituted, it's used within 24 hours, and you cannot freeze it and you cannot shake it. After dilution, it can be used immediately, or it can be stored at 36 to 47 Fahrenheit, or stored at room temperature. The maximum time from randomization to study drug infusion is 24 hours. However, it is critical that the infusion of the study drug could be completed as soon as possible after randomization. And again, if the study drug is not administered within 24 hours of reconstitution, it should be discarded. Next couple of slides, I'm going to talk about the pharmacy steps after the first infusion. So after the infusions, after each infusion, but after the first infusion, the site pharmacy research team will log into our clinical trials website, ESOCDAT, and complete the study treatment preparation report. They will need to complete this step within 24 business hours of the preparation of the study drug. And this is the way we can log study drug usage and also can replenish supplies centrally. The site pharmacy team will also need to maintain a record of group assignment, as preparation needs to be made for the next study drug infusion. Again, the second infusion after the randomization infusion occurs within 18 to 24 hours, so very shortly after the first infusion. How about the subsequent infusions? Well, there's a little bit of a time interval until the third infusion of the study drug, which is at 14 days. And prior to the study drug infusions at 14 days and at 28 days. As you recall, the 28 days is optional depending on how the patient is doing. ESOCDAT, our electronic data capture system, will generate an automated email to the site team members who randomize the patient, reminding that per the protocol, a study drug infusion is due. The reminder email will be copied to the site team on the delegation log and also to us here at the CCC, or Clinical Trial Coordination Center. And it will contain some form of language similar to what's posted on the bottom of this slide, which will say, per protocol, your study participant is scheduled to receive a study drug on such a date. If there are no contraindications, please coordinate with your pharmacy staff to ensure the next dose of study drug is to be given on time. After each infusion of study drug, the site pharmacy research team will log into ESOCDAT and complete the study treatment preparation report. And they need to complete this report within 24 business hours of the preparation of study drug. And they need to continue to maintain a record of group assignment and to think about the next round of study drug infusion.